As we now proceed to aggregate data with SQL queries, I first want to introduce you to the idea of a calculated field. Essentially, these consist of brand new fields that are based on some arithmetic operation that we want to be performed on some existing column. To do this within our select statement, we perform the calculation, and then to name the field, we type as and specify whatever name we want to give the new field. The arithmetic functions that we'll focus on in this class are those common ones that you're used to using in Excel, like taking the count of rows in a column, using sum to add up all the numeric values, or taking the average, minimum, or maximum value within a column. And just as a few examples, we could select AVG and then in parentheses sales tax rate, and then after that we followed it up with as average rate, which will now produce a new column called average rate that consists of the arithmetic mean of the sales tax rate field. Or if we select sum of cost in parentheses as total cost, it will add up all the numbers in the cost field and output it as a new column called total cost. I assume you get the idea here. Now, sometimes we want to do a calculation within certain categories or groups. So we can use a group by clause to specify that desired level of aggregation. In terms of the order of this syntax, a group by clause comes before sorting in order by, but after any where clauses that you've previously input. Let's demonstrate with additional practice. In number 4, we need to calculate the contribution margin for each product and determine which one has the highest contribution margin. And then as a note, we're told that contribution margin equals the price of a given product minus its cost. And I put that in there just to let you know that on homework or on an exam, I won't have you guessing how to calculate a given field. I will explicitly tell you what these should consist of. So let's try it out. As we add a new query and clear out what's in there, I'm going to select product ID, comma, product name, comma, and now for my calculated field, I'm going to put in parentheses price minus cost. And then after the ending parenthesis, we now name it by saying as, we could type anything here, but for now, I'll call it CM for contribution margin. We're going to select these fields from the products table. Let's run it now and see what it produces. So it now displays the different products and their contribution margin, which we can see varies quite a bit. But we wanted the single product with the highest contribution margin. We could do this by adding order by CM, our newly calculated field, and if we want the largest number to come first, we do need to input DESC for descending. And it appears to be the in-ground hoop. Now, you don't need to do this, but one additional trick I'll show you here is after order by, you could even include limit and then type a number, and it will restrict your results to the top X number that you've typed here. So when we run this, it limits our results to just one single record. Let's save this one as Q4. Next, in number 5, we need to determine which product line ID has the highest average rating. It seems straightforward enough, but in this exercise, we can't just calculate an unconditional average rating. We need to perform this calculation for each product line ID. So let's add a new query, and this time I'm going to select product line ID, comma, and then AVG, the average function, open parentheses, we want to take the average of rating as, and to show that you can name this whatever you want, I'm going to call this Daffy Duck. It's still going to be taking the average of rating, but I've named it something ridiculous just to make sure that you are in fact awake as you're watching these videos, and to illustrate a technical point here. We're going to select these from the products table, but I want to perform this average by a group. We're going to do this by grouping by product line ID. I'm specifying the unit of observation across which I want to perform this arithmetic operation. And so sorry if I'm repeating myself too much, but just to follow up, we're taking the average of rating, we're calling it Daffy Duck, by the group product line ID. Let's run that, and we can see that product line ID number 2, whatever that is, has the highest value for a new field called Daffy Duck. If I want to only retrieve that product line in this query, you know that we could do order by Daffy Duck descending and limit this to one single result. Our last question in this section asks us to count the number of employees by role and sort the output by descending count. If you want, you could try doing this one on your own. Make an attempt or two and see if you can get the same answer as me in this next query. Again, I forgot to save this one. We'll call this Q5 and we'll add a new one. And the fields I want in this ultimate table, I'm going to select role, comma, count in parentheses. And here it's probably a safe bet to use the primary key in this table. Count employee ID as count from the employees table and group by role. So here we have the number of employees in each of these different employee positions. The last thing I forgot to add was to order this by count descending. Well, that's great. Now you're definitely ready to perform aggregations in these SQL queries.